Your AAA membership gets you more.
This is my state, this is my team. You know what that means. This is for the black and blue that I bleed. This is for the chance to bring home that ring. But everybody gonna doubt this. So far there ain't been another way around it. We bring heat to the game each week. They just say we ain't got what it takes, we ain't bout it. Well, y'all can just keep saying that we ain't gonna make it, but at the end of the day, this'll be the Panthers nation. You know, this ain't a game to us major players at every angle that you can think of. That's why you hate us. Get out the way of greatness. You can look at our faces and see the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to create this. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but you can save it. Cause even on the darkest of days, you know we're always gonna find a way to tell them what we gon' do, we gotta touchdown that situation.
All right, folks, it is game day. Are you ready for the second preseason game of your Carolina Panthers? Row, row, row. Let's get into it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, select all, leave a comment down below if you feel like doing so. And don't forget to check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps for in-game posts, polls, opinions, and reactions to NFL news, as well as scheduling for the channel and Yahoo Sports fantasy football news. Let's dive into the content. Well, shout out to Lock Poppy already in here, man. What's going on, man? Dude, I'm ready, man. Week 2 of the preseason. Week 2 of the preseason, ladies and gentlemen. The teams are suiting up. They're getting ready to go in New York right now as we speak. I'm hyped up. I'm ready. Now, what do I expect out of this game? First of all, I need to see better O-line play, better O-line combinations to start with. And that's on Frank. You know, he's got to do better with the depth rotation. I was frustrated with that. I am willing to be a little bit more patient with that because of the fact that it's preseason. But if we do that same junk in regular season, we're going to lose. Plain and simple, we will lose. So I need Frank to do a better job of that. And you know, the reason I know it's Frank that did that is because Coach Campbell had to have an emergency O-line meeting right after the game, you know, to clean up Frank's mess. You think Coach Campbell would have rotated that depth chart before that game? I don't think so. Knowing that that is going to be the result of it? Nah. No. There's no way. I'm not buying the toxic lemonade that you're trying to sell me here. Folks, come on. Stop giving Frank excuses. He does not need excuses, alright? We need results. Plain and simple. And I've heard all kinds of excuses this week. Oh, we didn't use the game plan well enough. Okay, let's address that one. It's preseason. He didn't use any of his game plan. much less the 5 or 10% that it would have taken to get us points on the board. You know, I would have taken that. A win or a loss in preseason doesn't matter to me. It's how these players are developed. And I will continue to say that until I'm blue in the face. To all the people that are like, oh, you play to win the game. It's preseason. None of these games count, bro. None of them count. So, tell me again why I should care whether we win or lose there. Please explain that to me. Because a win or a loss in preseason does not get you into the playoffs. Hello? Think. Alright. Next excuse. Oh, well, we're just experimenting in preseason. Okay, there's a difference between experimenting and rotating in your two worst offensive linemen that you know are awful. Come on. Come on, Frank. That excuse does not hold water. Alright. Next. Oh, well, our running backs are not that good. We have Miles Sanders. We have Chuba Hubbard, who I still don't understand why people hate him. The man put up 600 yards rushing, and we're not even talking about receiving yards, rushing during the year that CMC went down in 2021. Go look up the numbers. You think I'm bluffing? Go look them up. Oh, but the man can't catch. Oh yeah, let's Google his numbers real quick, shall we? Let's Google his numbers. Y'all are gonna enjoy this. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's do it. So, according to the ESPN stats, let's go to the ESPN stats, shall we? His career receptions, for the people that don't think this man can catch, 39 catches, 345 yards, and a touchdown. Oh, but Chuba can't catch. Wrong. Wrong take. Sorry to tell you, but you're off base. Just because they didn't use him in 2022 and 2023 doesn't mean the man can't catch. They haven't used him in preseason that much. They haven't used him in training camp that much, except for running plays. Doesn't mean the man can't catch. He had 3 catches for 3 yards last year. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Oh, no, the man can't catch. Great. That's what we're using now as a metric? Seriously? 3 catches. Man, please. Get off Chuba's back, man. Leave the man alone. He's been producing. Oh, do we need running back help? No, we do not. Okay, so we're supposed to just ignore Blackshear and Spencer Brown? Where do they chop liver to you? Yeah, they're developmental players, but they're really good developmental players. These guys could easily make number 2 or number 3 on any given roster. Any given roster. I don't care which one you look at around the league. So tell me again how we need running back help when we haven't had a single injury at running back. Please explain that one to me. Now, wide receiver, we had TMJ, we had Bird hurt. Okay. This is where I might make an exception and say, okay, I'm willing to go after a slot receiver, for cheap, until these guys get healthy again. We probably won't use them much, but we'll pay them like, what, $1 million at most. I'm down for that. I would not be angry at that at all. I'd be okay with it. But we have bigger priorities. We need to start with his offensive line first. I respectfully ask for a replacement for Michael Jordan. I've been asking for it for a month, 2 months, 3 months now. Come on, people, pay attention. It's on VOD. So for anybody that thinks, oh, Michael Jordan's okay, he's not a bad offensive line. Okay. Have y'all even been watching Panthers games at all with him in? Did y'all watch any of last year's preseason? Or the Saints game from last year? Or the game we just had last week? Does that not help you get a clue? The dude is not it. Okay, we need a replacement. With all due respect, the guy's a great human being. He's a great person. But it's time to let him move on to greener pastures. Somebody will pick him up and somebody will be able to use him better than we can. It's not a good fit for this coaching staff. And I love the guy. I love his family. I think they're all great people. And I would absolutely sit down and have lunch with him and talk to him. No doubt. But, you know, and once a Panther, always a Panther, you know? But it's been 2 years now. 2 or 3 years now. And we're still sitting here with no results from Michael Jordan. Come on, man. It's time to go. Love you, man. I know you love the Carolinas. I know you do. I know you want to be part of this. But if you don't put up the results, man, that we need, it's time to go. And you cannot tell me there isn't somebody on the free agent couch that isn't better than him right now, that we can't sign for cheap. That has to be priority number one. I've been stressing this to all the different YouTubers. I even talked to a couple of them in person on Back the Other Saturday about it. Y'all know who you are that I talked to about it. You know, and nobody wants to say, oh, well, we need to address this, you know, as a serious issue. No, they just dismissed it as, well, if we get down to this part of the depth chart, there's something really wrong here. You know, I mean, I'm inclined to agree, Cody, but, you know, we still need to address it. There's been multiple situations in the past 5, 6, 7 years where we've had injured offensive linemen where we had to get down to the third rotational piece in that depth chart. And it's been that bad. And since Mr. Tepper respectfully will not change out the turf, we've got to do something about this. You know, it's just frustrating to me that nothing has been done. Like, no roster cuts, nothing. You know, other than just replacing injured players. And I know that, you know, you have that deadline of the 70-man roster where you have to cut them down, but, you know, I don't, this makes no sense to me. I don't understand why Scott's not pulling a money ball here and just pulling him and cutting him so he can't rotate him anymore. That's what I want. And, you know, I got frustrated last week, and that's why I waited a day to stream the post game. And I said, okay, let's wait. Let's see what this management and staff will do. You know, hold your horses. Let's see what they do. I was rewarded with a James Campen offensive line emergency meeting. And I was like, thank you. Somebody on this coaching staff actually cares, you know, besides Scott, about the integrity and the well-being of what we're trying to accomplish here. Shout out to Tyler Hales. How you doing, man? But realistically, we've got to have better rotation. You don't put in the threes with the ones on O-line rotation. It just does not work. It does not work, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what excuse you got. Now, I may be willing to overlook this if we had replaced Michael Jordan with a better offensive lineman. And like I've been saying to people, I'm very, very generous when it comes to preseason. I'm not picky. So, I'm not going to throw people under the bus during preseason unless I absolutely have to. And Frank, this is a case where I absolutely have to. You know exactly what you put in. You know exactly who these guys were, and you still did it anyway. That's what frustrated me. And I don't want to hear all this nonsense that people are popping off with all over the internet. Like, oh, well, we're just experimenting. Oh, well, this or this or that. Stop it. Stop giving this man a leg to stand on. No. That was an unacceptable rotation, and it needs to stop. Put the ones with the ones, the twos with the twos, and the threes with the threes. If you want to experiment with the twos and threes, go right ahead. But do not put the threes with the ones. Don't ever do that. It never ends well. Especially when you just drafted a brand new quarterback, pick one, round one. And some of you have already heard this before already. 1,000 times throughout the week from me in private messages ranting and raving. But I'm going to tell you that this is incredibly frustrating to me. And it's gotten to the point where this O-line has become the top priority. And I put it above the corners. Why? Because it's necessary. It's necessary, folks. I'm willing to put up with the corner situation as is right now in order to solve this one. Now, am I 100% sold on CJ or Keith? No. But am I willing to put the O-line as the top priority in this situation? Yes. It's got to get solved. There's just no way you can continue doing that and manage to protect Bryce. Shout out to Chevy. How you doing? I unfortunately do not have a replacement suggestion right now in free agency because the market is so slim right now. But yeah, Icky's fine. Icky's fine. And the reason I'm going to say this is because I'm very lax when it comes to preseason. The regular O linemen did just fine. You know, the starters. They're all allowed to have a bad game in preseason. It happens. You know, it happens. I'd rather them have a bad game in preseason than regular season. So get it out of your system. You know what I mean? And I think these guys will be fine. You know, Icky, Brady Christensen, Cade Mays, they'll all be fine. Taylor Moton, I'm not worried about them. You know, and I also want to reiterate, I'm not angry with Michael Jordan or Cameron Irving for not blocking properly because we all know who you are, you know, already. We knew what to expect when you guys came in. So, if you guys exceeded that expectation, fantastic. But if you didn't, you know, we knew what to expect. We're not mad at you. You know, Frank just needs to get it together. And I don't understand how you could be a coach in the NFL for more than 7 years and not know how to reorder a depth chart properly in preseason. That's what bothers me. There is not an excuse you could give me that could sell me on this. Okay? On the fact that he deserves an excuse for this. Alright, so let's hope this Giants game goes better for him when it comes to rotating. What's up, brother? How are you? I'm doing good. Doing just fine, man. Excited for this game for sure. Let's get into it, shall we? So we got a Giants depth chart. let's see what we're doing with this year. Okay. And if you guys will rotate over to YouTube, you'll be able to see the depth chart. But if you guys want to hang out on Facebook and listen, that's fine too. We've got Isaiah Hodgins, Jalen Hyatt, that are particularly dangerous in this wide receiver core. Colin Johnson, I don't know much about. Paris Campbell's a new name to me too. Cole Beasley, I've heard that name before, but I don't know much about him. Jamison Crowder, is that same Crowder that came from the Jets? Is that same wide receiver? I don't remember. Evan Neal, the right tackle. I had my eye on him. He's from Alabama. Let's see. Joshua Zidu. I remember that name from 2 years ago. Wasn't he drafted to the Giants 2 years ago? He's a right tackle, yeah. Let's see. Tyree Phillips, I remember that name from somewhere. I don't know where, but I do remember that name. He might have been with them last year, but he's being rotated between left guard and left tackle. Wyatt Davis. Shout out to Andrew Blackburn. What's going on, man? It's one of my buddies from back in the day. Shaquan Barkley is a very, very dangerous running back. Very underrated. I do encourage people not to look past Barkley. He had a pretty good season last year. Despite that O-line. So, do not ignore Barkley at all. He may not get much playing time because it is preseason, but when you do see him, be very, very cautious. Because if he gets loose, you're in trouble. And we had trouble with the run last game, so I just want to show people this from last week. Let me see. I need y'all to see the stats from last week because we gave up what 3 or 4 yards a carry, which was not great. Jets versus Panthers. That's the one. Yeah, here's the thing. When you're looking at where's the running backs? Okay. I want to show y'all something. Look at the average column here. Israel, 4.7. Travis Dye, 3.2. Michael Carter, 4.8. Damria, 3.4. Zonovan Knight, 3.2. And that was all last game against this D-line. That was all against this D-line last week. That's 5 running backs in their depth chart. That's a concern. Where was the D-line for that? Everybody's calling out the O-line this week. I'm calling out the D-line too. Where was the D-line? You know it's bad when Barno is your top pass rusher. It didn't get any pressure back there at all. For 3.5 quarters. That's sad. Y'all want to see who the top tackler was for us? This is going to surprise the heck out of everybody. Oh, y'all ain't ready for this name. Y'all ain't ready for this. I'm going to let you guess. What was the top tackler? And don't cheat. Don't cheat. Don't look it up. Because I'm about to show you. You want to see who the top 2 tacklers were? Throw it in chat. Go. What's your guess? It was actually a linebacker. All right. I'll give you about 30 more seconds here, and then I'm going to show it. And I'm about to shock the world here because no one is expecting that. No one's expecting this at all. And look at Derek Wright being the leader of the wide receivers last week. Shout out to him. Javon Wims. Where did Javon Wims even come from, dude? Okay, Lock Poppy says Brandon Smith or Camus. Nope and nope. Y'all ready for this? Chandler Wooten with 6 tackles. Bumper Pool with 3 tackles, 2 assists. Herb Miller comes in with 3 tackles. This is all before the 2 you just mentioned. You have to go all the way down here to find Barno with 1 tackle and 1 sack. Here's Brandon Smith, 2 assists. No tackles to his name. Just trying to kill these stupid moths. Anyway, and look at Luvu, nothing. Jeremy Chin, nothing. Razor Wright, CJ Henderson, nothing. Where were you guys? And DJ Johnson, the guy that Ajaro praised so much, only got 1 tackle, 2 assists. Gross Matos, who everybody is expecting to rise up and do something this year, 1 tackle. Jamie Robinson, the guy that says he's better than 145 other players or some garbage like that, 1 tackle, 2 assists. Where were you? You gave up 6 points. But Chandler Wooten, the guy that nobody's even been talking about in training camp, let alone preseason, got 6 tackles and was the leader last week. That's just sad. Y'all need to step it up. This is why I've been saying all week we need a defensive line meeting. When Chandler Wooten is your best tackler? What? How does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? This is a 3rd string linebacker on the verge of being cut. Herb Miller was another one that I had been kind of throwing under the bus and thought he was going to get cut. But no, he had 3 tackles and a pass deflection. Good job, Herb. Good job, Herb. That's how you redeem yourself. And Bumper Pool, who everybody was like, well, it's Bumper Pool. You're not expecting anything big out of him. 3 tackles, 2 assists. But okay. Keith Taylor, 2 tackles, 3 assists. Keith has been making strides. I give him credit. Okay, but where's the starters? Y'all played an entire quarter. Where were you? And that's what a concern looks like right there. In the first game of preseason, that's what a red flag looks like. Both the lines need to step up. Not just the O-line, but the D-line too. Nobody wants to talk about the D-line. I'll talk about them. I'll call them out because I've got to. Nobody else is going to do it. Oh, but our D-line is so good. It's so elite. And the sad thing is, I was hyping up that D-line throughout the entire month of training camp. I've seen these guys in person plow through an O-line on joint practice number 1. Like, they dominated that Jets O line. It wasn't even close. And I mean, they were bringing that training camp heat since day two, bro. Since day two. That's that same intensity. They brought it to the joint practice, but they didn't bring it to the preseason game. And I'm sitting here going, huh? Somebody please explain this to me. So I need more out of y'all. I need more out of all of y'all. I don't blame the wide receivers because, Bryce didn't have much time to throw the ball, and neither did Matt Corral. So, when you guys were presented opportunities, you may do on them. You cashed in, as the numbers suggest here. Derek Wright 11.7, Javon Williams 11.5, Shi Smith 20 yards on a catch there. Richie 14 yards on a catch. Tommy Tremble 12 yards on a catch. There you go. I mean, you guys are making do on these catches. So, none of that blame went to the wide receivers. None of it. And none of it should go to Bryce either because he played well. So, I don't want to see everybody throwing Bryce under the bus either. But we have an opportunity to show the world that we are not this 27-0 score. That is not us. We have an opportunity today to prove who we actually are. And I'll take 5 to 10% of that game plan. That works for me. That's enough for me. Whether we win or lose, that's enough for me. Whatever that yields. But I need these players to step up. And if these players don't put up the desired numbers, that's fine. At least show up. Win the battle in the trenches. I've been saying it over and over and over and over again. You cannot win a game if you do not win the battle in the trenches. And that goes for both the O-line and the D-line. It all goes back to you guys. You guys want to set the tone for the game? That's how it happens. So, that is a score we cannot accept anymore. Alright? 27-0 Jets. That is a score we cannot accept anymore. We've only been blanked twice in preseason. Twice. You know how embarrassing that is? As Panthers fans? Alright. So let's continue looking at this Giants team. We got Darius Slayton. Slayton's dangerous. Sterling Shepard is dangerous. If you remember Sterling Shepard from the Eagles, yeah, he's a dangerous one. David Stills is a new wide receiver as well. Daniel Bellinger is another name I want to point out. Keep an eye on him. Daniel Jones, you'll barely see anything of Daniel Jones probably. But he is susceptible to picks and does hold on to the ball too long. So, from what I've scouted anyway, he has done that. So, I think we should be okay as far as putting pressure on Daniel Jones. With the D-line being how they are. Tyrod Taylor. For people that aren't familiar with Tyrod Taylor, he is a runner as well as a passer, so be careful about that. He can find those gaps and get 2 to 3 yards, and push your offense down the field. So, I would be wary of Tyrod Taylor. Very, very wary. Defensively, Dexter Lawrence is a name that I know very, very well. He was a former Clemson Tiger. Watch out for him. Aziz Ajari. That's a name that's been popping up the last couple of years. He does have a strong pass rush. He's not one of the best out there, but he does have a strong pass rush. So if you don't have your feet set and you don't have your technique down, he will push you. He will bull rush you. So be careful. Let's see. Who else catches my attention here? At Rodarius Williams as a potential very, very dangerous corner. I've seen the work he's done with his former college. You know, he's a 6 foot even Oklahoma State man, 195 pounds, but he can definitely tackle and disrupt an offense if given the opportunity. So, that's just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with there. Let's see. Nick McLeod is a very, very interesting free safety. That name catches my attention. He's a 6'1", 3-year vet from Notre Dame, 190 pounds. They haven't really given him many opportunities until last year. So he had like 35 tackles, 8 assists, and a sack and a half. But the pass deflections are what I'm calling attention to. He's got 7 of them last year during the regular season. So, let's keep an eye on that. Let's try to keep that ball away from him and into spots where he won't deflect those. So, Matt Corral, that's on you. See if you can get that ball away from him and place that ball in stride. Xavier McKinney. Now, this is a very interesting player right here. 4-year vet from Alabama. 6 foot even. 201 pounds. And he has amassed a total of 163 combined tackles. 102 unassisted tackles. So, 93 solo, my bad. 93 solo tackles. Okay, so there you go. 1 sack. 6 picks. That's the number I want people to pay attention to. 6 interceptions. Why is that number important? Because if we even decide to throw in Andy Dalton at all, and he gets lazy with the deep passing and decides not to try to throw it down the field, this is where Xavier McKinney is going to start taking over and say, ooh, I have an opportunity. And I've seen a couple of overthrows by Andy during preseason that would lead to picks, I think. And Matt Corral's been doing okay. Matt Corral would probably be the other one that I would think may throw a pick near him if you mix up the depth chart. But we just got to be careful. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm not worried about him pass rushing. He only had 1 sack. You know, pass deflections, you got 16 for his career. He had 10 in 2021, but he went back down to half of that last year in only 9 games played. So maybe it's just a lack of use of Xavier McKinney, but it's just something to keep an eye on. Um. Ooh, excuse me. Uh. So those are the names that pop out to me. I don't know what names pop out to you guys, but those are the ones that pop out to me right away. To watch out for in this game. But those are names I've heard before and have kept up with. So, with that being said, again, how did the Giants do last game? That's what I want to know. What did they do? What was their first preseason game? Or did they play one yet? Did they play one yet? Yeah, they did. Okay, Lions. Gotcha. Let's take a look at some stats real quick. Okay, see there's Tyrod Taylor, 3 for 4. But look at Tommy. Look at Tommy with the 15 for 24, 155 yards. That is something we cannot allow. Touchdown. And see, the problem with that is we allowed like 12 to 13 passes from the Jets' third stringer last week. So that's something, and close to 200 yards. That's big yikes. Alright, so let's look at the wide receivers. David Stills leading the way with 36. There's Crowder. Yes, it is the same Crowder I was thinking of. 2 catches for 32. He's more of a slot man, but he can be very, very dangerous yards after the catch wise. So, yes, be careful. Do not let that man get out of containment. Because he will rack up some yards. He's not as dangerous as he was with the New York Jets. But it's something to watch. For sure. Cole Beasley, 4 catches for 33. Okay. Defensively, we've got Bobby McCain, Trey Hawkins. Oh, excuse me. Alright, so all of the second stringers really is what we're looking at. And that's what we should expect to see leading the way here, in preseason. Rodarius Williams has a tackle. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So, there's a lot going on here, man. There's a lot going on. And there's a name you should be familiar with, ladies and gentlemen. Graham Gano. Everybody knows who Graham Gano is. And we just recently had a kicker injured. So, we're not even dealing with the typical kicker problem, which was everybody pulling it to the left. Now it's kicker injuries. So, I mean, we just can't seem to catch a break when it comes to kicker, man. But every time we go and pull a kicker off of free agency, it always ends up being a winner. So I'm not even worried. I got total faith in special teams. They seem to be doing a great job, and the interesting thing is the way they solved that left kick problem is coaching. Did you notice that problem went away as soon as we got our new special teams coach? That we've had for 2 or 3 years now. That problem went away instantly. Just something that caught my eye, But yeah, we got a Giants team that averaged about 16 points last game in their first preseason game. About 6 points, 7 points, nothing major, nothing exciting, nothing too crazy. We could take them. We just have to be willing to try to take them, and put our best foot forward. This is a game we can win. If we really put our best effort out on the field. Mistakes are going to happen. Let them happen. It is preseason. Now is the time for those to happen. Get them out of your system. Let's learn more about what's going on with you, good or bad, and let's try to fix it. If it's an issue, now is the time to do that. You don't want to wait until regular season and let these problems persist like an infection. Solve them now. Alright, so that's what I expect to happen here. I expect a few players to have a good game today. Barno, of course. Let's see if a few of these guys step up today. Let's see. Alright, it is game time, so I'm going to set up for the reaction stream. I will see you guys in a few minutes. In the meantime,